Good evening, my Woodlot viewers. It's Grace Vermeer here with the Watershed Agricultural Council. And today, I have taken you by my local lakeshore, and we are observing the invasive species purple loosestrife. So purple loosestrife looks like this. It is a flowering purple plant with a very lengthy stem. Typically, it has multiple flowers at the top that are about 5 to 6 petals. It also has, I like to refer to them as triangular, narrow leaves. So purple loosestrife is native to Eastern Asia and Europe. It got over here, it is believed to have come here and have been transported in cargo ships during the 1800s. It's also to have believed been transported through the transportation of seeds. So it was probably mixed in there, is one of the thoughts. Some people also like to plant it as a perennial, who may not be aware that this is an invasive species. So I keep using the word invasive. The reason purple loosestrife is invasive, if you can tell by the leaves, not many, doesn't really have any predators. It has one predator, and that is a beetle. I actually worked with this beetle for my first internship, working with this invasive species and how to mitigate it and mapping it in northern New York in the Adirondacks. So, it doesn't have any common predators. Its root system is really strong, so it outcompetes the native plants that predators can eat and habitat in. So it beats out native competition, which makes it difficult to keep the native plant population alive and thriving in many areas. And it overtakes a lot of space, and therefore it's really hard to mitigate it and to take it out because it is so difficult to remove. It's very strong. When I was removing it for my research project, I had to saw the roots with an actual handsaw. So this little sucker, big sucker, is pretty intense in terms of how it grows. Ways that you can mitigate purple loosestrife on your land or in your area is you can first physically remove it through physical labor like I did, which is sawing the roots, taking the plant out of the ground with the root system intact, putting it in a black trash bag and throwing it away. You do not want to compost this because it will continue to proliferate. Another way you can do it is through mechanical means. You can weed whack this, and you can mow it, but chances are you're just going to disperse the seeds. So it might stay away for a while, but it'll come back in later years. You can chemically treat it with herbicides, which of course is not recommended because herbicides do run off into water and certain animals should not be digesting it, including us. But that is an option. And another option is a biocontrol, such as utilizing beetles, like I did. And I recommend, if you decide to do that, to contact your local Department of Conservation or Environmental Education. So, that's on purple loosestrife. It may look pretty, but its purpose, not so much, at least in the Western Hemisphere. So, I hope you learned something today and got to know an invasive species.